All right, here's the entire system on exactly how I built a $65,000 per month coaching business. I'm breaking this up into sales and fulfillment. I know the text might be small. I will zoom in as we go because you probably can't read everything in here. I'm going to wing this entire thing. So I wrote this out hoping that I could just go through it, hopefully explain everything within this one video. Now, this is my example. So I'm going to show you everything that I do, but I've also worked with another industry. So I'm going to show you some other examples on people that I've worked with, so that because you might be saying like, oh, I can't do that for my industry, or how do I apply that to my industry? So I'm going to give you some other examples so that hopefully you can apply them for whatever you do. All right. The first thing is the whole thing revolves around getting booked calls, right? So we need to get as many booked calls as humanly possible. And I figured out a few systems that work really well for me. One is YouTube, another one is email, and then the third one is having a freebie. A fourth one, Facebook, and then last is Instagram. So I get about 150 calls per month from YouTube. And from that, people click on my freebie, right? And so I get about another 50 calls from my freebie and another 50 calls from my email campaign. And then about 15 calls from Facebook, 5 calls from Instagram. Now I could get a lot more from Facebook and I could get a lot more from Instagram. I just don't put a lot of effort into those two platforms anymore. When I put a lot of effort into Facebook, I was waking up to like 20 messages a day of people that were interested in buying my service, 40, 50 calls a month just from Facebook. But I just don't put a lot of effort into that anymore. So here's how my YouTube system works. I have 2 videos a week. I usually try to do 2 videos a week. I have a couple different styles of video I try to do. One is a viral strategy. So this is where you look at anyone else that's getting a ton of views, like millions of views, and you just try to copy their style, but within your own niche. For example, Mr. Beast will do something that's like small versus large, or low money versus a lot of money. So like $1 versus $1 million blank, or one giant monster truck versus 1 million mini monster trucks, right? Or RC cars, right? Stuff like that, right? And so small versus large, even versus even, which is like 1,000 boys versus 1,000 girls, stuff like that. Those are the viral strategies. And so I'll try to recreate those, but for my own industry. So 1,000 boys versus 1,000 girls would be 1,000 emails versus 1,000 cold calls. Interesting, right? This all revolves around the problem, which is getting more appointments. Okay, so if you have not defined the problem of what you're solving, then all of this is basically worthless, because we needed to know, like, why are we actually making each individual video? So, or why are we posting each individual thing? And it all needs to lead back to this main problem. Cool. And so I have some other, again, more examples of how to find the main problem, but that's what I'm solving. And so all the videos within the viral strategy are revolving around that, but they're in a viral way. So I've tried other things, like I hired 100 employees. That really didn't work well because it wasn't really revolved around getting more appointments. And then I also tried, what was the other one? I tried trapping myself in a box until I made $10,000. That was really fun, and that was a really good video, but didn't really get a lot of traction because it really wasn't revolved around how to get more appointments. And the next strategy I use is 7 strategies. So like a listicle, here's all the strategies I use, or I tried every blank, or 10 strategies I use to blah, you know. So that's one strategy. And then how-tos, those always crush it. How-tos is amazing. And because people, with the business side of things, and with most of YouTube, most of the views come from the browse features. So I think 80% of views are coming from people looking at their home feed and then just clicking on whatever pops up on their home feed. But within the business space, that can happen, and you can get a ton of views that way. But a lot of views will come from the search function, where people are searching a specific thing, and then they will find your specific thing, and then that's how they get into your funnel. And so how-tos is a great way to do that, because people are looking up how-to blank, right? And then they find you, and then that's how you get a lot of traction really quickly. Like, you won't get a ton of traction, but you'll get more traction than if you would have just done random videos, I guess. I don't know. Reviews are also really good, because people are going to look up reviews of, what I did was reviews of certain softwares, and I got a ton of customers in the beginning from that. I have a video called Is Seamless AI Worth It? And that was a video that got me a ton of traction when I first started. And I was just reviewing different softwares that I was using, different tools I was using. I had different ways of doing outreach, whatever people do. I did a review of like, is not Alex Shimozy, what's the guy's name? Andrew Tate's course worth it, or something like that, and that did pretty well too. So reviews always work. Cool. Now within the videos, I try to have call to actions. This is subscribe, free offer, book call, and then follow me. Follow me is more of a new one, but subscribe. So you usually don't want to have a call to action within the first 30% of the video, or the first, let's just say if it's a 10-minute video, the first 3 minutes, don't have a call to action. because we don't really want to get any, one, we haven't really provided a lot of value, and two, we want to try to get the person to stay on the video as long as possible. And so if we say, hey, go watch this other video, then they're going to click off of the video that they're watching right now to watch the other video. So we don't really want to do that. So first thing is subscribe. I usually do that after I've said something valuable, and I'll say, hey, if you think this is valuable, I make videos every week about this, so you should subscribe. Next one is a free offer. And so I try to lean into, if I'm saying something about, hey, if I were you, I would write this message, blah, 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 and I'll put a message on the screen. This is the message we're going to use. And if you don't know how to write any messages, I have a free course on how to write messages in the description below, right? And so I have a free course, and it covers a lot of different things on how to get appointments. And so I try to cover that anytime. So if I'm talking about, let's say, oh, I'm going to do LinkedIn outreach. And if you want to learn how to do LinkedIn outreach, I have a free course in the description below, stuff like that. And then book a call. It's always at the very end of the video. Now, I've seen it work also. I've tried doing it like in the middle of the video. That also can work. But usually at the very end, I'll just do a call to action saying, hey, if you want me and my team to do blah, blah, blah for you, you can book a call with me below. You always want to try to touch on these call to actions, because if you don't, you're just missing out on sales, right? I watched a video a couple months ago, and it was about how to do like certain tax strategies, or like, should you use this certain tax strategy, right? And it was one video that I watched from one random guy on YouTube. But at the end of the video, he was like, hey, if you want my team to help you, we can file this for you. We can do your tax, whatever, right? I was like, oh, this guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about. And I know he is offering a service because he gave me a call to actions. And so I looked at his website. There was no like really way to book. So I just called him the next day, and I paid him $500 for some random service, right? So always have a call to action at the end of the video. Cool. All right, next one, Facebook. Facebook works really well too. I do about 2 to 3 posts a week, and there's different types of posts that I use. So one is long form copy posts. This is basically let's just say you would make a video, like this entire video, right? I could turn this entire video into a long post, just laid out step by step exactly what to do. Now you might think, people don't really read a long post. Why would they sit there and read for 20 minutes when they could have just watched the video? That is true. People would rather watch the video, but people still read the post if it's engaging enough. And so what I do is you break up the copy, the paragraph, so that it's a little easier to read each individual line. You want to read over it several times, just because if you do not read over it, and let's just say you stutter on something, the person that's reading it's going to stutter on it, and then they're just going to scroll into the next thing. But if it's engaging enough, if the headline's good enough, then they're going to watch, or they're going to want to read till the end, because it's something that they want to read, right? So if I made a post on exactly how I make $65,000 a month, or I made a post the other day, I made a video called I tried 27 strategies, or the 27 strategies I use to get clients. And then I put a post out doing the exact same thing, 27 strategies I use to get clients. And a lot of people loved that post, and people even reached out to me and said, Carson, that was like one of the best posts I've ever read, because it has all these different strategies and they can use all these, whatever. All right, and so it's actually providing value to them. That's the whole goal with the long form, provide value, and then you have a call to action at the end. So it's kind of like the same thing with a YouTube video. You kind of write out what your YouTube video would be, and then you have a call to action at the end. You do the same for the long form post. Billboard post is the next one. A billboard post is, I'll show you on screen what a billboard post is. Just the big bold letters, big background. It's kind of, I just equate it to a billboard. There's a lot of billboards. I'm sure you've, drove around and you saw a billboard, and it was like, you have no clue what this billboard is about. Like I saw one the other day. It's pretty interesting. Had UFOs on it. And I'm like, but what is it? Breaking news, UFO, whatever. I'm like, I don't know what this is about. I don't know why that billboard is there. Like, someone's paying $7,000 per month to have that billboard there, and no one really, it's not converting at all. So what you want to do is you want to have these type of billboards. I'll show you on screen, these type of billboards, where we have a direct, specific call to action offer. If you drove throughout the United States, you might have seen a billboard that says Cracker Barrel, next exit, then right? And then you're like, oh, I know exactly what to do now. I want to go to Cracker Barrel. It's the next exit, then I turn right. And so we want to have a direct call to action billboards. And that's what we do with these big posts. So give them a direct call to action, and then ask for, like, say, a comment or something based on a certain offer that you're pitching. Those work really, really well if the offer is good enough. Testimonial posts also work really well. Testimonial is just you saying, hey, look, my client was able to get this. No call to action at all. If you do this consistently, if you have testimonials and you just keep posting, hey, look, my client did this, my client did this, my client did this, post them on your story and on Facebook, those work extremely well. People will continually reach out to you and be like, okay, how do I do that? Can you teach me how to do that? And it works every single time. All right. Facebook group. This is also a great strategy. You can post the exact same type of post that you would post within the regular, within your Facebook profile. Sorry, I forgot to mention, you're putting all this on your normal Facebook profile. You can use your personal Facebook profile. That's what I did, and I kind of just slowly converted it into a business profile. So post everything that you would post within the same group. You want to friend people that are within your industry. And so what I did was I would friend people and then send them a message, like doing cold outreach, seeing if they were interested in my service. And then people that weren't interested, or maybe people that just didn't respond, I was now friends with them. And so then I gained a whole bunch of friends. I gained 5,000 friends just doing that, messaging people every day, 50 people every day, and adding them as a friend. And then now that I have 5,000 friends, I can now invite them all to my group. And so I can just invite everybody to this group. And so now I have a ton of members in my group. And so what you want to do is create your own group and do that yourself. You can also go into other groups. This is also a great strategy. You can post your testimonials into other groups, and people will, because now if I have no friends, right, and I'm a nobody, but there's a group of 20,000 members, I can post and get in front of, like, say 5,000 people that actually are active in the group. And now I've gotten in front of 5,000 people that I wouldn't have gotten in front of before, because if I post on my own wall, then no one would have saw it, right? So that's what's great about groups. The problem is a lot of groups, like, they will block you or ban you from the group if you post promotional posts, like promoting yourself in any way. And so if you just do testimonial posts where you say, hey, I help this client get to $100,000 a month, or I help this client get 10 hot water heater jobs this month, let's go, just straight testimonials, and no one really thinks you're promoting anything, but people will reach out to you and they'll say, well, how are you doing that? So that works really well too. I usually do a direct call to action within, like, most of these posts. So like the long form, the billboard, or not the testimonials, but long form and billboard. And so people will ask, okay, for the billboard one, here's an example, how I send like 50,000 emails a month, whatever. And I put that out, got 200 comments, and then people were like, oh, how does it work? How does it work, right? And so I reached out to everybody that commented, and I gave them a video. I said, hey, here's how it works, a short video on how it works. Now, it wasn't like a long, in-depth video on exactly how to do it. It was just like, hey, this is what we do. This is how we do it. And if you want me to help you do it, you can book a call with me below, right? That can work. Also, let's just say send a freebie, or just say, you can just start a conversation and lead it to a book call. So you can say, hey, we can help you get 120 calls a month, right? And then people say, oh, I'm interested. And then you just say, okay, well, how are you getting calls right now? They say, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and you can do the DM script that I have. I've got a free course in the description below that has a DM script that I use to get people to lean over to a booked call. It's pretty easy. There you go. See, we're probably 30% into this video by now. All right, so here we go. And then that's about it. All right, so that's Facebook. Instagram, I don't really lean anybody to go to my Instagram, but recently I have been, because it's just another avenue to get appointments. YouTube is an easy platform to get discovered on. Facebook is also pretty easy to get discovered on, because if you can go into other Facebook groups and just promote yourself, then now you're discovered, right? Which is great. That's how I got my start. I got tons and tons of sales calls, made hundreds of thousands of dollars through Facebook, and then I switched over into YouTube because it just worked better for me. But Instagram, you can obviously get known through Reels. You can get discovered through Reels or through the Explorer page and stuff like that. But it's honestly kind of rare. It's not very effective. If you promote yourself through ads, I think it would work better. But honestly, a lot of people, what they do is they just grow their audience on YouTube and they funnel it to Instagram. So that's what I'm starting to do, like grow it on YouTube and I say, hey, follow me on Instagram, right? And so, but there are plenty of people that do follow me, probably a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 people that follow me on Instagram that are people that are interested in my service, or people that follow me on YouTube. And so anytime I post a testimonial on there, people are really interested. I also do like long form posts. So I'll just post a random post of me, selfie, Carson, hey, what's up? And post that on my Instagram. And then I'll put a long form post within there, and I'll just value on exactly how I get clients, or my story of me getting started. And if you want my help getting started, you can comment blah, blah, blah below, right? And people reach out to me and it works really well. So that also works. Now, these two can work really well, but I just don't do them a lot anymore. As I said, I usually do YouTube, and then I lead over into these two things. And so YouTube, I say, hey, I have a free course in the description below on how to do this. Also, if you just want to book a call with me, you can book a call with me. So people go direct to the booked call, right, from YouTube. Boom, right? Same with Facebook, but we're talking about YouTube, right? Direct to book call, but I also have a free course, right? So I'll say, hey, here's a free course. Free course is an opt-in, meaning you have to give me your email and phone number to get access to this free course. There's an opt-in, and then you will get emailed the free course. But you also, right after you opt in, there will be a page that says, hey, if you want to book a call with me, I can help you do blah, 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 right? And so you can book a call directly on that page right there, right after the opt-in. And so now I get a lot of booked calls from that too. And then they get the email, and in the email I say, hey, here's the free course, but also if you want me to help you, you can book a call right here, right? Another opportunity to book a call. And then if they don't do that, in the course, I provide value. The first video in the course is, hey, you should book a call with me. And then I provide a lot of value, and then again, hey, you should book a call with me. So I get about 50 calls per month from that. Now, there's a lot of people that don't even go through the free course, or they don't even use it, or maybe they do use it, but then they never buy from me or whatever. They never book a call. So then we have the email sequence. I've got about 10,000, maybe 12,000 people that have opted into my email sequence. And so these are people that have got my free course, or I have other free things, like I had a free software at one point, just free PDFs, free whatever, right? Just random things. And so people that have opted in to any of my services or any of my freebies, I now send them an email. So I usually we send about 3 emails a week. We can send more or less, just depends. You can honestly send 1 per day and people still read them. This is just long form copy. Now you can do, there's 2 different strategies. You can do long form copy, which is just the same thing that you do in a Facebook post, or basically, hey, here's 27 strategies that I use to get clients. And then you would just do that within an email rather than a YouTube video. So they can just read it rather than watching it. Some people, they just don't really follow your YouTube, or maybe they saw it and they didn't really like the thumbnail, whatever. They just kept scrolling. And so then they got the email and like, oh, that's pretty interesting. And then they actually read it, right? So we just kind of tackled them on a couple different platforms. And then at the end, of course, we have the call to action. Hey, if you, and rather than saying, hey, comment this below if you're interested, right? Or DM me below. We're saying, hey, just book a call, right? So it's just a link to book a call after we give you those 27 strategies we use to get clients, right? There's also some other ways. Now, with email, we want to look real. We want to look legit. So you do not want to have like HTML in your email. I'll give you some examples. You don't want to make it look very fancy, because if you do that, less people are going to click on it because they know that this was just an automated email sent to everyone. Now, if you do the long form copy, it will still be like an automated email sent to everyone. People really know that, but we want to make this look as genuine, as human as possible. We want to make it look like it was just me reaching out to you. And you can also do emails where it is just you reaching out to them. And so you can send a blast out. I can send a blast out to these 11,000 people saying, hey, I just created a new Loom strategy that helps me get another 20 appointments per month. Can I share it with you? And then a whole bunch of people say, yeah, share it with me. Or would you like to see it? Here's a video, right? And it's very short, very sweet, but very genuine. Makes it look like I'm just reaching out directly to you. And that works really well as well. So all those lead to the booked call. All right, current situation, desired situation. I give some advice, and here's what we do. Right, that's the basic. I have videos on how I do the sales calls and everything, but basically where you are right now, and they're like, oh, I'm only getting, let's say, 5 appointments a month, and it's not really working for me. I'm relying on word of mouth. Awesome. Everybody says this. I've had thousands of sales calls. They all say the same thing. That's the current situation. Desired situation. I mean, if I had really high quality sales calls and just like maybe 40 a month, that would be great. I would love to have 40 sales calls a month. All right, awesome. I've heard that a million times. The advice. And so I'm asking them questions about, okay, who do you target right now? Or what's the main offer? And then I say, here's what I would do if I were you. If I were you, I would do blah, blah, blah. I would do these strategies. I probably would reach out with this message. And now here's what we do. If you want my help, I can help you build out the system. We give you all the automation tools you need. And if it doesn't work within 60 days, if you're not getting consistent sales calls, or if for any reason you're not satisfied, you can just say, hey, Carson, go kill yourself. I want my money back. And we'll give you your money back. And that's how it works, right? And so that's the booked call. And then we close them into the deal. And that's how we make 65 grand a month. But how do we actually fulfill that? All right, this is the fulfillment part. And again, everything revolves around this. And the fulfillment helps us get more sales. And so how do we do this? All right. So this is N for Notion. I host my course through Notion. The reason for that is it's just really easy to use. Honestly, I didn't know what Notion was like 2 years ago, but then I found it and then I was using it and I was like, okay, well, this is really like I can update, because everything's always constantly changing within my world. And so I'm always updating videos or making new videos, adding stuff to the course. Obviously there's several other platforms that you can use. That's just what I use. All right. Now, I did not want to be the guy that created a course. I hated that idea of like a guru. Like, I hated that idea because I'm like, okay, everybody else does that, and I don't want to be the guy that does that. Like, who am I to be that guy, right? But as I started to get along in this journey, and I started to I got really good at getting appointments, right? And then I would get on calls with people and I would tell them what to do, whatever. And they would all ask the same questions, and I was like, okay, and I would do demonstrations of the same exact things. And I was like, okay, this is really annoying. What if I just made a video, right? And so I made a video, one specific video. I'm like, okay, how to set up the SMS campaign. And everyone was like, okay, that was great, right? And then now everybody's asking about Facebook. And then I made a video about Facebook. And so it became just like I just kept making videos, and then I would just send it to each individual person. And I was like, what if I just put this all into one course material? And then I was like, okay, well, now I have a course, which is, I don't really want to do that, but because it's just has a negative kind of view now, but it works, right? So I make videos on any common questions that they have, right? So the other couple of weeks, I guess the last couple of months, people have been asking, okay, well, how do I make multiple Facebook accounts, multiple YouTube accounts, or multiple Instagram accounts, right? So I made a video on how to make multiple accounts, how to set up multiple accounts and send out messages from these multiple accounts and make sure you don't get banned, right? So that's that. Cover any common questions. Next up is Zoom. This is Z for Zoom. I do calls. We do group coaching calls. So I have 2 calls a week, one on Monday, one on Thursday. I stagger them with different times. So one at 10 a.m. my time, one at 4:30 p.m. My time. That's because obviously at 10 a.m. my time, it's like 7 a.m. in California, and so they can't do the Zoom call. But people in the UK, people in India, they can do the call because that's like 9, 10 p.m. their time, right? So or 7 p.m. their time when it's 10 a.m. my time. And on Thursdays, 4:30 p.m. So I just staggered the time so that we have 2 different calls at 2 different times so that anybody can join and hopefully anybody can get the value that they need, right? So and then I do one-on-one calls. So I think that's what has differentiated me over a lot of other people. Where you have, let's just say, Joel Kaplan. No disrespect, Joel Kaplan. Obviously, he's huge. And then you have, Serge Guattari. You have Charlie Morgan. And these guys, they charge you $12,000 for their program, and that you don't even get to talk to Joel Kaplan. You don't even get to talk to Charlie Morgan, right? And so you just pay $12,000 just to hear somebody else talk, right? Somebody else is teaching you. And so people really want to speak to the wizard. They think, they watch Joel Kaplan. They want to talk to Joel Kaplan. They think Joel Kaplan can solve their problems, not some random guy that they just met that Joel Kaplan appointed, So I don't really know how Joel Kaplan does this stuff. No disrespect to him, but that's what I think has differentiated me because people really want to talk to Carson because Carson's the expert, and that's why I've purposely tried to position myself in that way where I say on my YouTube videos I'm the best at this, on my Facebook posts I'm the best at this, and so then I say, hey, we have a program where you can talk directly to me. The one-on-one calls are directly with me. The group coaching calls are directly with me. You're not talking to some random person that I appointed. You're talking to me, right? So I think that has given a lot of value. Obviously, you're limited on time. You can only do so much, and so I limit how many calls I can do per week. I limit them to about 15 minutes now because usually people don't need more than that. But they get to talk to me. Cool. All right, group. We have a Discord group. I know that's the worst emojis or worst icons I could have possibly made. But the group, we have one-on-one conversations. You can text me anytime, and I usually respond within an hour, or a couple hours, or within the day. I usually say I respond within 24 hours. So one-on-one conversations with me whenever you need it. I will respond to your messages. And then group chats. We have plenty of group chats, and we have a support. So if you have any technical questions, I have a support team that will help you with anything that you need. All right. Another good thing about the whole program is the tools. And we give you access to a lot of tools you need. So you'll have everything that you need when you get started with us, rather than having to go out and buy a whole bunch of random things or have to buy some other coaching or have to whatever, right? Everything you need should be right here. So we cover everything. And so that's why we give you access to the tools. And I think that has greatly helped too, because everyone's like, well, I don't want to have to pay an extra $700 a month for a whole bunch of automation tools. And we say, oh, we include that for you, right? So that's in there as well. And so we give them Go High Level, Facebook automation, email automation, all this other random jazz. All right, and so all that covers how to solve the problem of getting more appointments. But we want to think about, this is what we're doing. Okay, everything leads back to this. What are they buying before, during, after, or instead? A lot of people are going to ask, well, what about blank? What about blank? Or what about blank, right? And so a lot of people are asking, well, how much do I have to pay extra in tools, right? And I'm saying, okay, people were consistently giving me that problem. And so that's something else people were buying during my service. And so I was like, well, what if I just included that? Would that help me get more sales? And so then I just included a lot of softwares as included in the package. And they're like, oh, well, that's actually amazing. That's a great deal. That's better than anybody else because no one else is including softwares within their packages. Boom. What are they buying before they buy what I give them, right? They're usually buying, paying for a VA, maybe trying VAs. They're usually trying, what else are they trying? They're trying other softwares, whatever. And so I make videos on other softwares. I say, hey, look, here's some other softwares. Here's what I use. And you can either, book a call with me and we can give you those tools, or you can buy these tools yourself, right? And then I have an affiliate link, right? So what are they buying before? What are they buying after me? How to do ads, stuff like that. And so I'm going to start teaching how to do the ads part of things. And then what are they buying instead of, choosing me? Who are they choosing else? Who else are they choosing? And so if they're choosing somebody else, what are they providing that I'm not providing? And then if I just add that into what I'm providing, then why wouldn't you just go with me, right? And so I can give names, whatever, but other people have stolen content that I made and then provided themselves. And they're like, hey, we have this thing, and it was just something that I created, but now they're providing it. And so, but I also steal. I just stole from them. And I was like, hey, look, if you want that, I have that, and it's better, and it's cheaper, and it's whatever. And so you can buy my thing because I already have what they have and more, right? So why do people use Amazon rather than anything else? Well, Amazon, they started just selling books and then all media, and then they're like, okay, why don't we just conquer the entire world of e-commerce or have the online everything store? So instead of going to anybody else, we have everything right here. So you should just stick around and we can provide everything for you. So what are they using instead of Amazon? Why are they using that instead of Amazon? Okay, well, why don't we create a reason to use us rather than using that other platform, right? So that's what you want to think about. How do we provide the entire package so that's easy for them to say yes, right? And on top of that, we give them a great guarantee. So where it's like, how do I say no to this? That's what we really want to do. How do I not say yes to this? So I'll give you another example on some other guy I worked with. I don't know if you can see this. I'm just going to try to move this a little bit. All right. And it doesn't really matter. You don't really need to see this. But here's a guy I worked with a long time ago. And he had a soccer training company. Basically, it was helping kids improve their mindset while playing soccer so that they could be better playing soccer and they could be more dominant on the field. That was kind of like the tagline. Now, the parents are the ones usually buying. Again, I don't know if you can read this, but the parents are usually the ones buying. And the main problem that they're solving is they want their kid to be the best kid on the pitch. They want their kid to be the best kid on the field, right? And that's what they wanted, right? That's the main problem. So everything kind of revolves around that. How do we make your kid the best? All right. And so the sales system, we just mainly did Facebook ads. It was a long form posts. I would write these long form posts, and it would be a call to action at the end of this long form, like why is your kid not dominant on the field? And then here's 10 reasons why your kid's not dominant. If you want us to help you, we created a free guide on how to do that. Click this below. And then they click that. It was went straight to a VSL and then a booking page. So a video that was like, it said it was 10 minutes, but it was like 30 minutes long on why your kid's not performing the way he should be and how we can help you get your kid to perform the best possible on the field. And going to a booking page. And then also we lead to a Facebook group. There's a Facebook group that was there that we built up, and it was pretty cool, of just, soccer parents, right? Just basically like that. We also tried YouTube. I think we probably could have done a lot better on YouTube. Again, this was like when I was first starting. So Lucas, if you're watching this, try YouTube. I think I keep telling you that, but just do it, dude. All right. And then we also got a ton of sales calls from the email campaigns. So obviously, if you're running Facebook ads, you're capturing people's emails and then leading them to a booked call page, and a lot of people aren't booking a call. And so we consistently give them emails because obviously they were interested in this at one point and maybe they just forgot about it, whatever, right? And so if we send them emails a couple times a week, the same that I'm doing, long form posts, call to action at the end, book a call with us below. And that worked really well too, and that got us a ton of calls. And then with all that, we were getting about, I think we started at $50,000 a month. We were able to build it to $100,000 a month, optimizing this system, getting it to the best it possibly could be. And then the fulfillment. The fulfillment was a 6-week program on your mindset, on how to improve your mindset. And they were very simple videos, honestly, and it was charging like $10,000 for these videos. And so it was like just 6 videos, and you only had access to 1 video per week. And it was just, okay, how to start meditating, right? How to meditate to be better, or how to create an alter ego so that when you're on the field, you're not just, in your normal life, you're a normal person and you're very nice to people, but on the field, you can't be a normal, nice person, right? You have to be vicious and you have to kick people, right? I'm just kidding. But that was the training program, right? 6 weeks. Okay. So we were solving the problem of how to be better on the field, or how to improve your mindset to be more dominant. Because a lot of times, a lot of the kids, their parents, they would go to a new club, their coach was really mean to them, and I guess the coach was mean specifically to them, and so then they weren't as confident on the field, even though they knew that they could be more confident, and the kid has goals to be D1, whatever. And so we kind of would solve all those problems by saying, hey, we can help fix all those problems by doing this stuff, right? But then there was other things, like they still want to be the best kid on the pitch. That's really the main problem we're trying to solve. We want to be the best kid on the field. And so we started implementing more things. What are they buying before, during, after, or instead? And so we started adding strength training. So there was a coach, Coach Leo, and he is a coach for Olympic athletes, just a ton of different Olympic athletes or NFL athletes, just like anything. I don't even think it's NFL, but anyways, he's a very prominent coach in Chicago, and he's great at what he does. He's extremely one of the smartest guys I've ever met. And we started adding strength training. So he made a specific strength training program just for kids that do soccer. So specific exercises that help them within that, reducing injuries and also increasing strength. And so we added that. Also, tactical training, right? Instead of like, okay, I have the best mindset, but I'm still not good in terms of tactics, or I don't know where I need to be, all that stuff, right? So then we added another coach who is in Germany, and he Coach Phil, he was a professional player in Germany, and so he was teaching tactics on like, okay, how to handle the ball, dribbling, all that jazz, but also how to position yourself on the field. I don't really know how all that stuff works. I didn't really play soccer, but tactical training, right? And then also what they buy usually before all of this is they usually go to camps, like soccer camps, to help you in 1 week camp that'll help you get better on the field, right? And so they started implementing camps. So now we have this entire company, and instead of just the 6-week training, we have camps, we have strength training, we have tactical training. So why would you go to anybody else other than me? We have covered what you buy before, during, after, or instead, and now it's all within one package. And so instead of going to the other guy who doesn't have a lot of testimonials and all he's providing is strength training, you can come to us where we have the best strength training coach. We have the best coaching program in terms of how to get better with your mindset. We have the best tactical. We have some guy from Germany who's somewhat, it's like a European. It seems like, oh, they must know what they're talking about better than we do because Americans are stupid. And so, yeah, that's how we were able to build that up, where you really got to think about what are they buying before, during, after, instead. And so people will buy from you rather than anybody else because you're covering all that rather than just the one thing, right? Cool. That is exactly how I did everything, right? If you want a system to consistently get 120 sales calls per month, you can book a call with me below. We do all this, one-on-one calls with me whenever you need it, group coaching calls. You can ask me any questions. There's course material on how to do anything. I also set up the campaigns for you. If you need help with anything, I'll create the messages for you to do outreach. We also have plenty of systems. People don't really use these systems, but we have plenty of systems on how to do YouTube, how to do Facebook, how to do Instagram. And again, I get hundreds of calls from that. And so I have systems on how to do that, specifically how to get people to book a call with you through YouTube and how to actually gain your audience through YouTube. And you don't need, obviously I don't have a ton of subscribers, but you don't need a huge audience. When I started, it only took me about a month and I was getting like 30 calls a month just from that. And it grew to 150 calls a month within like 6 months just using YouTube. So I have systems for that and I help you set up that if needed. And yeah, that's how it works. So if you're interested, book a call below. I will talk to you guys soon.